This is television for the Isles of Scilly, brought to you with Truro and Penwith College and the Scilly Lottery. From Radio Scilly, this is scillytv.com.
The local action group has been in hiatus for the last 4 months. Essentially as a result of the comprehensive spending review, when the budget funds to DEFRA, who now manage the programme, were severely cut by £200 million, and that had an impact on what they could spend the money on, and it took them a while to decide what their priorities were. And alongside that, there was a national review of the 64 local action groups across the country. They wanted to see how local action groups were performing, and was the money being well spent, and could they spend it in the future, because obviously they want to make sure that money is well spent.
So I guess you've got a clean bill of health.
We did. We were very, very, very lucky. We had the fantastic news last Friday that we could continue with local action group, and that we have retained our allocation of £2.25 million for people in the Isles of Scilly. This is partly because hopefully we've done a good job to date, but also we've been protected by our convergent status, which does mean that the money to us is protected to a certain degree. I think to get a scale of how lucky we are across the Tamar, where they don't have that protection, they've had cuts of anything from 33% and above. So we've been extremely lucky, and I think people in the Isles of Scilly must make the most of this opportunity, because other people will be looking at us really very enviously, I think.
So you could have found that was it. You could have basically got a call from somebody in government saying, there's no more lag, go home.
I mean, potentially. We were always protected by our convergent status, so we knew that would never happen to us. However, we could have had a small reduction. But if we were across the Tamar, and to say there are a number of lags, there's 15, 14 in the southwest, and some of those have had that phone call, or very similar phone calls, and essentially they're almost mopping up the programme, yeah.
So how much have you got left?
Well, I spend my time number crunching. We have a total allocation of £2.25 million. We've allocated £708,000, so I think you can do the sums there. We've got plenty left, I think. That's what I need to say. And the challenge for us now is getting that money out there, not wasting it, getting it out there on good projects that have an impact, that help the people of the Isles of Scilly but go beyond 2013, and we leave a legacy of really doing some fantastic things for the islands in the future.
So broadly, what things can you not give money for?
I think we've had this one slightly before. There are a number of things. Grant money is just not there for the taking. It has criteria, and you have to meet that. What we can't do is purely agricultural projects, not because they're not valid, but because we can't. There is other money to fund agriculture, and we support people to access that. The same with fishing. There's a fisheries fund for Europe. We can't support fisheries, but we can help other people access funding from the fisheries fund. We have some problems with movable infrastructure, partly because LAG funding is geographically located, so anything that's movable, and I'm talking transport, we have a slight issue with. We can get around it sometimes, but things like boats are a no-no, and I think I said before, I can't do fishing boats or tractors, much to my father's complete and utter horror and disgust.
And roads?
And roads, yeah. We've been talking about roads. It's hard for us, we can't do roads. There are other funds nationally that do roads, but we can't do roads. I mean, if you remember what we are about is projects that are slightly different, slightly innovative, that support the environment, that support the economy, and show examples of people working together and good practice. And quite frankly, a road, no matter how useful, and of course they are, that doesn't meet our criteria, and we really can't bend the rules. We have to work within the rules. We will support people, but we have to keep ourselves legal.
And how long have you got left with the programme then on the islands?
We have got till the end of 2013 to allocate funding. The last time we'll allocate funding is around about December 2013, and will have to be spent by March 2014. And it sounds like a really long time, but when you start putting a capital project together, and you've got to get planning permission, and you've got to go through procurement, and you've got to find a builder, it all takes time. And really, money is not our enemy at Local Action Group, time is our enemy. And I keep banging on the table, and I'll continue to bang on the table, is don't wait till the winter, come and see us now, and at least get things in action.